Alright everyone, so what you're listening to now is what was going to be last week's episode, but I'm doing it this week because, as I'll explain at the beginning of the episode, I had computer problems, so therefore I wasn't able to post on Sunday, so I'm posting that episode now. So, yes. So this is episode 51, but everything's going to be sort of old, I guess. Perhaps, maybe, because I recorded this, of course, last week, but I'm putting it up this week. You all get it by now. With this particular episode, I'm trying out some new audio settings, aka I just changed up my original settings, and I won't bore you with all that crap because most of you probably don't give a shit. So with that being said, let's just get on with the episode. Alright everyone, welcome back to the Anything and Everything Podcast, episode 51. For this episode, I've actually pre-planned out my topics. No, I'm serious. I've actually pre-planned out my topics. If you can see it, I actually have a list right here. See? But, yes. I literally have all of the things I'm going to be talking about today planned out. Even down to the time. So we'll see how this goes. So, of course, by that little opening there that I thought would be funny just to start it off, I'm going to be talking about the internet's most recent meme. Because it's pronounced meme, not meme. I don't know where old people get the term meme from. I guess probably because they're just reading it how they think it's supposed to be read, but whatever. It's meme. And first of all, I should obviously point out, because I guarantee you there are people who don't understand, so they're going to think it's real when it's clearly not real. Just like this screenshot right here that I'll edit into the video here. This screenshot is fake, clearly, obviously. But I want to start off by just talking about this whole LIGMA thing. If you don't know what LIGMA is, I just really want to know where they got the name for this. It basically started with whom is perhaps probably the biggest streamer on Earth, especially the biggest Twitch streamer, Ninja. And apparently, I think this was last week, and this is how bad this is. This just shows you what kind of fans he has. So apparently he took 2 days off from streaming. Yes, I know, horrible. And people started making this joke that he was dead from a disease called LIGMA. It's just funny to say, LIGMA. Which, first of all, the reason that's bad is because people are so obsessed with this guy. The man can literally not take a day off from streaming. Otherwise, his fans go fucking insane. Which in turn is going to make him go insane. And I don't mean that in a negative way. That's what's bad about it. This guy literally can't take any time off. The guy literally cannot take any time off, no matter how badly he wants to, because his fans literally won't let him. But, hold on. I don't think this whole LIGMA thing is intentionally harmful. I think it was just some random kid or person or whoever who got bored and thought, hey, I'll make a meme. Maybe it'll be funny. Of course, it's gotten so bad that apparently Ninja himself has had to ban the word from his streams. Like I said, this whole thing is fake. The whole thing's basically a fucking joke. And people just, I guess, thought it was funny or so stupid that they kept going with the joke. And apparently somebody made a clearly photoshopped image of something that says like 853 dead in LIGMA outbreak or something like that. Which, like I said, this is mostly harmless. Although, I guarantee you had the people who didn't understand anything, freak out about it, think it was real, I guarantee you, look it up, find out it was a joke, and they get mad, and yeah. Although I guess that's not the worst name for a disease. Actually, what's going to be kind of funny is if they actually do discover a new disease in the coming years and they actually decide to use LIGMA. That'll be kind of funny, but also very stupid. Hell, even what's his name? Killer Meme Star, even he got in on the fun. Even he couldn't stop himself. I think he tweeted something like, I've been diagnosed with LIGMA, have 90 days to live. And you know people believe that. I just hope he doesn't try to milk it for money or some shit, which wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, that's my whole thing on LIGMA. It's just fucking stupid. Well, not so much more stupid as it is pointless, but it's also stupid and pointless, so yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm trying out some new audio settings, so I don't know how this is actually going to sound when I go back to edit it and put it together. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and I think I'm like 2 weeks late on this whole thing, but I'm still going to talk about it because I don't really care at this point. Everyone said everything already, so I'm just saying shit that everyone's already told you, and I'm like the third world of news, I guess. I don't fucking know. Fuck. But I'm going to talk about FouseyTube for a moment. But for a very brief moment, because that's literally what I put down on my notes. Short little rundown. FouseyTube basically tried to do his own little concert thing. Whatever the hell this is.
Let's get right into the news. Let's do it big. Let's do it for the community. Let's do it for love. Fuck hate. Listen to my boy Rug.
I'm sure we can all tell that's very sad. That is not a lot of people. Apparently, this was at the Greek Theater, Los Angeles, California. I believe that's what it's called. I'll have to double check. And apparently, this place can seat like, what is this? What did they say? Like 2,000 people? Something like that. Maybe it was a bit more than that. I can't exactly remember what they said. But as you can see, there are clearly not 2,000 people here. This looks like maybe, at the very most, maybe a couple hundred. I can't fucking tell that. And what makes it sad is, if you've seen any of the other videos everyone else has made, which is everyone, you'll know that Fousey himself hyped this up to be this, it was going to be this fucking massive concert. Thousands of people. And most importantly, and most notably, and most sadly, he said that Drake was gonna be there. Little secret, Drake never fucking showed up. Drake wasn't even in Los Angeles. Drake was in New York, apparently. I think. Doing something else. He was nowhere near this shit. But, as you all also probably know, basically Fousey posted a bunch of videos basically stalking Drake. Basically pleading with Drake to show up at his concert so that it'll be a hit. Which means even he knew this whole thing was going to be a disaster. So he was basically pleading with Drake to come to this concert to save his channel and himself. He was basically using Drake for his star power. That's the best way I can put it. If you've watched any of the actual videos where he's pleading with Drake to show up at his concert, it's really just the saddest thing I've ever seen, and also the creepiest. And I mean this I mean this seriously. I'm being honest. Obviously, the man is obviously some stage of mentally ill, and I'm not using that as a insult or a descriptor or anything like that. This man is truly, to some extent, mentally ill. Because he seems to go in this like he's in a manic state. He's talking fast, animated, sort of jumpy. He's sort of like and then talks. He'll do that motion and then talk. Very energetic, more energetic than I think most people would be. And at one point in one of the videos, he just starts shouting a bunch of something that I can't remember what it was because I couldn't really understand it. It sounds like he's, I'm guessing, shouting out Drake lyrics, which most people don't just randomly switch between being manic and then shouting out Drake lyrics. I don't even care about the whole concert or whatever. I will say the man is arrogant. The man does give me a vibe of he's arrogant. He has a very big ego. But it's just more sad to me because the man is obviously very mentally ill. Seems to be suffering from mania or some sort of manic type mental illness. And the man needs some sort of psychological help, psychiatric help, or something like that. Especially his behavior after the whole concert, which was canceled because someone apparently called it a bomb threat. And then the entire LAPD bomb squad showed up and there was no bomb. They still shut it down anyway. That probably didn't help anything. And he just snaps and he basically just goes on a big rant that even I cannot understand because it's so incoherent, which is just sad. But I will say, FouseyTube has been very open about being mentally ill. I will say it seems like he knows he's mentally ill. He acknowledges he is mentally ill. So I do applaud him for that. It seems like he legitimately realizes he is mentally ill, which is good. That's very good that he's self-aware and he's aware of it. I think that's a very good thing. But I also think he doesn't realize that these sort of stalkerish behaviors and the outburst are part of his mental illness. He does not understand, nor does he probably realize those are part of mental illnesses. Those are symptoms of mental illnesses. I just think Mr. Aircat needs some psychological help. Perhaps maybe not a mental hospital, but perhaps some sort of psychological help, which I hope he gets. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is actually someone. Yes, this is going to be the episode about people. I'm going to be talking about someone you may or may not have heard of. You probably don't know who he is by face, but I'm going to be talking about Butch Hartman, who, for those of you who don't know, Butch Hartman, yes, the Butch Hartman who made the Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom being one of my favorite shows when I was like 9 years old to 11 years old, whenever the hell it ended. That Butch Hartman. For those of you who don't know, the man actually does YouTube content now because apparently he has left Nickelodeon, as he said in one of his videos. But I'll get to that. I'll get to stuff like that in a second. But I'm not going to be talking about him or his YouTube. I'm going to be specifically talking about a Kickstarter he did to raise money to start his own company called, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Oaxis Entertainment. That doesn't roll off the tongue very well. Could have gone with a catchier name. He did a Kickstarter, ended up raising, I think it was $258,200, I think it was, for his company. And the problem everyone now has with this is, the main reason being, apparently Oaxis Entertainment is going to be a entertainment company specializing in Christian-related programming. And the reason that's such a big deal is because, according to the people who backed his stuff and people in general who have seen this, the main problem is he apparently did not tell people when he started the Kickstarter, he did not tell people that this company was going to specialize in specifically Christian-based programming. So he didn't He basically did not tell people that this was going to be a religious-based streaming service. It's got a lot of people pissed off. Also because, supposedly, Hartman is this, like, super religious... He's like this super religious nut, which I should know very well because I'm from Alabama. If there's anything we got plenty of down here, it's religious nuts. Yeah, I like that SpongeBob reference. Now, the only real proof that I was able to find of this was a video where he spoke at a conference back when he started the Kickstarter in February, I think it was. And let's just say he makes some rather distasteful statements, which I bring up because it very much seems like he was being serious. He makes a comment that the reason suicide and depression are so high among teenagers, young adults and stuff like that, because teenagers and young adults are too addicted to their phones. Really, dude? Really, man? That's what you're going to use? That's what you're going to use to explain away suicide and depression among teenagers? Which is just fucking stupid. It's a very pussy way of trying to disbelieve that depression and suicide are an actual problem, which I think is the reason why he's doing it. He doesn't think it's an actual thing. It's like he's ignoring bullying's a thing. It's like he's ignoring child abuse as a thing. Sexual abuse is a thing. There are plenty of things that make people suicidal and depressed, which he's willfully ignoring. And he says some other equally as bad things. Specifically the way he worded it is, with Oaxis Entertainment, he wants to bring the values back into everyday programming, or more specifically children's programming. I really don't like the way he worded that. Other people say it almost seems as if he's trying to force religion onto people. He's trying to force religion onto kids. Which, if that's true, then he's in for a very, very rude awakening, because that never fucking works. As I've talked about in, I believe it was, fucking Jesus. I talked about this in, I believe it was episode 5 of the podcast, way back when, because it doesn't fucking work, no matter what way you go about that. All it's going to do is make these kids blissfully unaware of everything. They're not going to know how to do anything. They're not going to know how to do anything for themselves. So, yeah, in my opinion, that no matter, despite what he says, that's not going to work. But then again, he's not really forcing people to watch the station, so you can't really say that, because I'm assuming this is going to be children's programming, mostly for, I'm guessing, ages 7 to up, when they're too young to understand what the fuck they're watching or what the fuck they're doing is, so they really don't have any say in it. So you could technically say he would be forcing kids into religion. But then again, the parents can choose whether or not to let their kids watch this station. So, not really, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. To be honest, I think that's why we should wait for these kids to be in their teens before we start talking to them about this whole religion thing. It's almost as if it's almost as if these people don't want these kids to have their own opinions. But that can't possibly be it. That's too crazy. Okay, not going to go off on a rant on religion here. I've already done an episode on religion. Overall, yeah, that's a fucking dick move. So, yes, he pretty much did mislead everybody who donated to his thing. I have my very strong doubts that he's actually going to follow through with the rewards on his Kickstarter campaign. Some of those rewards are a little crazy. They're a little weird. But I won't go through them all. You can look them up for yourself. And there's some other stuff about him supposedly being homophobic. So, yeah. Okay, so the next topic I have, and this is going to be my shortest topic because I've been thinking of doing a video on my second channel of this. But there's a particular subreddit on Reddit called Gamers Rise Up, I think is the name of it. And I've looked through it, and it's basically this subreddit where basically a bunch of bitter people. From the looks of it, mostly dudes, mostly men. Basically bitter about the fact that they get made fun of because they like video games. So they made an entire subreddit to express what they claim are gamers being oppressed. Which in my view, I think they're just copying all this other random crap about oppression and shit. They're copying all the shit that people are putting out nowadays. It's just a big subreddit copy of modern day politics. Let's be fucking honest here. And it's just as stupid as it sounds. Because I don't believe in the same shit they do. Because I disagree with what they say. And I think most people would disagree with what they say as well, because the whole stuff they claim is just stupid. Like I said, they claim that video gamers are being oppressed because, video gaming is still sort of made fun of, sort of, by where it's nerdy and stupid, whatever. Which I disagree with, because I think if someone makes fun of you because you play video games and calls you a nerd, which doesn't affect me anymore, because if I could count to you all the amount of times in middle school and high school that I was called a nerd, I'd have to have an entire extra set of fucking hands. And I just don't care anymore, because fucking look on my Twitter bio. Look at my Twitter bio and my Instagram bio. I openly say, hey, I'm a fucking nerd. Here you go. You don't like it? Fuck off. So I don't care. And to be honest, I really don't think they should either. It's basically a subreddit of people these people are basically admitting that they're letting school-grade insults get to them. They're basically admitting, someone called me a nerd, that makes me upset. Which is exactly what they want, so you're giving them what they want, but making an entire subreddit about it. And it's just very stupid. So I actually wanted to add this one right at the end here. This was a late edition. Plus, I can actually flush out the runtime. And came across this thing talking about how the UK has had like 50 to 80% of their KFC branches, their KFC stores, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes, they have KFC in other countries. Not a surprise. But the UK has had like 50 to 80% of their stores shut down because they have no chicken. Because they're out of chicken, because the stores in the UK changed companies that they used to get the chickens from, and the company they changed to didn't deliver the chickens. So they ain't got no chicken. So they have no chickens, therefore no fried chicken. So they're out of fried chicken, and apparently the people of the UK are not taking it very well. I just think it's fucking hilarious. People are literally freaking out over a lack of fried chicken when they could easily go to a store, buy chicken, and then fry the chicken themselves, which is what I usually do. So I don't have to spend an extra 30-something bucks to get a whole fried chicken meal. Besides, there are no fried chicken places near me. I'm serious. The place that I live in, there are no fried chicken places anywhere fucking near me. Matter of fact, I think the closest KFC and or Church's Chicken, but I don't care about fried chicken enough to drive 8 billion miles to get to a chicken place in the next city over. I'm kidding. I don't actually live 8 billion miles from anywhere. As a matter of fact, without giving away my location, I will tell you that, sadly, I am right in the middle of a very built-up area. I live in a pretty urbanized area, so that's what makes it extra sad. I live in a very urban area, and there is still no fried chicken anywhere near me. Which is why I go to Walmart, buy the chicken from Walmart, and then fry said chicken myself. And apparently people are so pissed off and upset about it, they've actually called the police asking about why there's no fried chicken. It's as if they see pretty much the entire country not having fried chicken as a crime, which it's not. And the police have actually had to tell people, please stop calling the 112 system.
Once again, you gotta get arrested.
Okay, they didn't actually say that, but that's what I gathered from it. They've actually had to tell people to stop calling them asking about fried chicken because asking about fried chicken
It's not an emergency.
but still more civilized. That's still more civilized than what it would be here in the U.S. If all the KFCs in the U.S. shut down, there'd be people of all races. They'd all be rioting in the streets. I actually actually hate KFC. I don't like KFC at all because in my opinion, KFC is just way too fucking greasy. Every time I pick up a piece of KFC chicken, it's like I've painted my entire hand via paintbrush with oil. It's like I've taken a paintbrush and painted my entire hand with oil. That's how greasy it is. Okay, I'm over exaggerating that, but it is very greasy. So I don't like KFC. KFC's just too greasy and yeah. So I think that'll do it for this episode of the podcast. So, if you guys like this episode of the podcast, I think I said that twice. Shit. Fuck me. You guys on SoundCloud can like the track or favorite the track, whatever the fuck it is now. I don't fucking know. Comment on the track. You could also replay the track if you wanted to. You could just scroll all the way back and go to the beginning of the track and just listen to it all over again while you're on the treadmill, in the gym, walking around a track, taking your nature walk, whatever. And you guys on YouTube can thumbs up the episode, thumbs down the episode, comment on the episode, whatever you want. And I'll see you guys in next week's episode.